Standard 9th, Subject History, Chapter number 1, Sources of History. By sources of history, we mean the different means from which we can learn about history. Till now, we have studied the history of ancient, medieval and modern India. History of India from the past, ancient past, medium past and the modern India. This year, we have to study the history of India in the post-independence era, the time after 1947. Sources of modern history are different from those of ancient and medieval history. As we progress with technology and advancements, we have different sources available for the modern history. We can study history with the help of various sources like written sources, material sources, oral sources, and sources in the audio-visual medium, that is the hearing aids and the video print. In the modern period, we have to take note of various sources at the regional, that is local, state level, national as well as international level. We can write history with the help of these sources. So if any one of us wishes to take up a career in history writing, we need to use all these sources. Proceeding with the first one, written sources of history. Please mark this paragraph up. It will be asked as a short note for 2 marks. You need to write 4 points as the answer. The following sources are included in the written sources. Now, they have given us a diagram giving us the different sources in written form, starting with newspapers, periodicals, diaries, reference books, correspondence, documents in the archives, government gazettes, postage stamps, and encyclopedias. We will be reading or we will be learning about each and every source of this written source of history as we move further in the chapter. For the time being, we will be proceeding with the written sources paragraph. Just as newspapers are considered the fourth pillar of democracy in the modern period, they are also a major medium of information. Newspapers are the fourth pillar of democracy. So what are the first 3 pillars of democracy? Anyone? No. Okay. The 3 pillars of democracy are legislature, executive, and the judiciary. Legislature means the parliament and state assemblies, etc. Executive is the government, and judiciary are the courts, the Supreme Court, High Court, and other judicial centers. So newspapers are the 4th pillar of democracy. If we consider the period from 1961 to 2000, we come to know that in the beginning there was no alternative to print media, especially newspapers. Other sources of information was not present so much. With liberalization and widespread use of internet in India, an alternative for print media became available, and this was the social media, the internet media. Yet the print media still continues to be powerful. Newspapers. This was the paragraph for written sources of history. Now newspapers. We are going through individual sources of history now. Through newspapers, we can get information about national and international affairs, politics, art, sports, literature, and social and cultural affairs. We get information about each and everything in the society. Newspapers contain matters related to human life. Most national newspapers have started their regional editions, means not only in English, they are also getting published in local language. They are also containing news only about the local areas. They publish supplements that give information about various topics. Supplements means an addition to the main newspaper. Newsletters of various movements, the dailies or weeklies of political parties, monthly and annual magazines are important among the print media. See, it is not only about newspapers. All these are also a section of print media. They are also a part of print media. Some newspapers produce special supplements towards the end of the year that take an overview of the important events of the year. Such supplements help us understand the important events of the year. It's like a roundup, a reminder of what had happened in the past 1 year. So some newspapers come out with such special editions or special supplements. Again, newspapers will be asked as a short note for 2 marks. You need to write 4 points from this. The exact answers how you have to write, that we will be discussing later on. Next one is PTI, the Press Trust of India. Again, a topic for short notes for 2 marks. After 1953, the Press Trust of India has been an important source of primary details of all important events and of articles on important subjects. It is the basic source of all the details of important events. PTI or Press Trust of India has provided reports, photographs and articles on financial and scientific issues to newspapers. Now this PTI is acting as a source of news for the newspapers. PTI has now started its online service. During the 1990s, PTI started using the satellite broadcast, that is the cable TV technology, instead of teleprinters to send news all over the country. Before 1990, the telephones were used to send the news across the country. But after 1990s or during the 1990s, satellite broadcast technology was used. This material is important for writing the history of modern India. Now, whatever important documents or whatever important material sources are present with Press Trust of India, they are helpful in history writing. Now, going back to this first page again, in that blue box, do you know section, the place where historical documents are preserved is called archives. The main office of the National Archives of India is at New Delhi. You can call it as archives or archives. It is the largest among the archives in Asia. Archives is again a favorite short note topic for 2 marks. Please make a note of that. The second page. Among the print media, the information contained in the annual issues of the Publications Division of the Government of India is authentic and trustworthy. Government comes out with certain facts about the events that had taken place in India and around the world. For example, the Information and Broadcasting Department published India 2000, an annual reference book. This reference book is created under Research, Reference and Training Department. There are different departments of the governments. Under Information and Broadcasting Department, this particular book was made by them, created by them. It contains useful information about the land of India, its people, national emblems, political system, defense, education, cultural events, and an account of the developments in the fields of science and technology, environment, health and family welfare, social welfare, media of mass communications, along with basic data related to economics, finance, planning, agriculture, water conservation, rural development, food and civil supplies, energy, industries, trade and commerce, transport, communication, labor, housing, laws and statutes, youth and sports departments, etc. It is possible for us to write history with the help of such information. It is an exhaustive list of information here. Please don't worry. This will not be asked in the exam. It is just for our information. It is an information that is good to know. We do not need to know, but it is good to know. Okay. They have also given the website on which we can find this particular book by the name India 2000. It is literally on each and every topic that is relating to India.